All right. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to give others about a minute or two to just hop on.
Happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday today? Yeah, happy
It
Wednesday, everyone.
is. Well, it should be Happy Wednesday. Okay, so I am going to go ahead. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us over your lunch hour for our webinar. My name is Tanya Blayton-Gauza, and I am the program lead here with WESC. Now, before we go any further, I have to say a huge shout out to our webinar sponsor, W Law. Now, I'm super excited about our topic today, which is making entrepreneurs happy for no reasons. Now, this will be presented by Kira Judge. Kira is a certified happy for no reason trainer. Now, throughout our presentation, please feel free to go ahead and submit any questions you may have for her in the Q&A box. And then in the regular chat box, I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead to introduce yourselves and to tell us anything you want to share about your businesses. As per usual, this webinar is being recorded and will be available for on-demand viewing. So with that, I'm going to take myself out of the way, hand it over to Kira to show us how to be happy for no reasons. So Kira, whenever you're ready.
Well, thank you, Tanya. I'm so grateful for this wonderful introduction. And I'm also grateful for everyone who is joining us, choosing to sit in front of the camera when we have wonderful summer. I don't know about you, but I'm in Saskatoon and the weather is wonderful, so I could be outside, but you're choosing to be here. So I'm so grateful to be here. And I'm grateful for the WESC that putting this seminar and allowing me to share happiness science. And before we start, I would like to acknowledge that we are in the Treaty 6 territory and homeland of Métis. And throughout my life in Saskatchewan, I learned acknowledging land is very important to recognize our connection to nature. So I'm acknowledging that I'm in Saskatoon and Saskatchewan in Canada. And I also know people are joining from other part of the world. So I'm grateful that you're staying late and watching me speak and share this happiness science. So today we will be learning Happy for No Reason module, which is based on 7 steps being happy from inside out. And it's created by my mentor, Marcia Shaimov. And her goal is to spread this happiness science across the world. And I just joined in because I think it's an incredible goal. So I do not see everyone on the screen, but I guess I can anyway, I don't see anyone, but I welcome everyone. I can see your smiles. I can feel your smiles. So with that, let's dive in, okay? And as Tanya said, please send your questions. I promise to follow up if you have questions. And I believe Tanya told me that she have emails of everyone. So if you want to connect with me, please send me your emails and the questions. I will follow up. Promise I will follow up, okay? Because it's so important for me to support everyone in this journey because it is a journey. So we will move on. If my slides work, okay? Okay, so my mission is spreading happiness science among women. And I welcome every man who joined and everyone who is questioning their gender or queer or anybody, because this is kind of very important to recognize we are all belong. And my mission to spread happiness science among women, because I know when women are happy, that means society got it right. I don't know about you, but in my childhood, when my mom wasn't happy, we were all unhappy. And I know from my tradition that women hold that energy in the household. So women can hold that energy for the community as well. Therefore, having women happy is so important for not only in the family, but the entire community, in the economy. And therefore, if women are happy, then society got it right. And statistics shows that 90% of earnings that woman makes goes to family and community. And I strongly believe when we have happy businesses, we might have happy money. And happy money will create happy community, happy kids, and happy families. My decision to spread happiness is because I really want to see a happy world. And it is possible. But we all have to believe in that. Because everybody belongs and everybody's thoughts count. Because you will see in a few minutes why our thoughts are important. So going next, I would like to share my story. So if you could hear my accent, I'm not born in Canada. I arrived to Canada in 2003 because my husband sponsored me, and I grew up in Kyrgyzstan. It's one of the republics in ex-Soviet Union. So I came to Canada in 2003 because I want to do my master's in economics, and because of real estate in BC, we moved to Saskatoon in 2007. And since then, I call Saskatoon my home. Saskatoon is an amazing city with incredible opportunities and incredible nature. We have wonderful river. And so I call Saskatoon home. And I always wanted to know why Saskatoon? From all of the places in the world, why Saskatoon? And now I know my mission is to be bridge between East and West, because I am from the East and I see so many beautiful things from the West, but there's so many beautiful things in the East. So I would like to share that wisdom, and through happiness science, it's the best way. 2012, I graduated my master's in economics, in environmental economics. And that study kind of showed that in measures of economics, we are missing some measures, because right now we measure GDP, we calculate GDP per capita and everything else, but we're really missing, are we happy? Are we happy to create so many widgets and gadgets? And I don't think we are. So that's why the current economic measures, I don't think, include many things that is important for us. And therefore, women perspective, measures of women input and designed by women becomes so instrumental for my journey as well. And that's why I'm so empowered to support women. Although I received my master's degree, that was dream of my dreams. I found myself so miserable. I was depressed, crying, and literally I was lost. And that's how I started my journey to happiness. I asked questions, why I'm not happy? I received so much. I have everything I dream of, but I'm not happy. And then that was my answer. Regardless of how much you receive financially, materialistically, professionally, unless you have that inner peace and happiness within, you are not going to be happy. And that's why I'm so excited to share that happiness is science, and you need to kind of know how to get there. So that was my journey. And in 2020, when pandemic hit, I got some free time happening, and I needed to spend that kind of productively. So I was looking for certification. So there's a whole bunch of professional certifications, but none of them really guaranteed that I will be happy. And the universe answered my call. Marcy Shaimak was recruiting happiness trainers, and I signed up. And through that training, I know my life purpose. I started my money journey. I also was exposed to B-School by Mary Forleo. If you don't know Mary Forleo, she's incredibly amazing, empowered woman entrepreneur, helping everybody to recognize their purpose and business purpose. So check her out. She's incredible. And then 2020, I became a happiness trainer, and the rest is history. And also in 2020, I lost my mentor. She passed away. And just before she passed away, we had a dinner in her house. And just after 1 week, she died. And that was my call to step up and take her place in Saskatoon Cycles. I was a leader of Saskatoon Cycle co-chair for 2 years. And thanks to that role, I was able to receive government grant and we developed this ZenZ application. And ZenZ is Zen, because if you're in Saskatoon, you know the infrastructure for cycling is not so friendly. So you really need to be peaceful in order to be cycling around and be safe. And Z is zero emission delivery. So we were trying to reduce pollution from transportation. And so we developed this app. And through that app, I was exposed to Collabs as a founder. And through Collabs, I was exposed to VESC. And here I am, part of VESC, presenting to the VESC community on happiness. So that's my short story. And that's why I'm so excited to be here. So moving on. Our purpose today is to be inspired to live a happier and more fulfilled life, and have practical tools so you can get immediately to the level of higher happiness, and understand the key steps to create happiness from the inside and out. And most importantly, we will have fun. All you need to do is participate, to be open, and try the exercises that I will offer you. Moving on. I see some chat. I'll just quickly check, okay? Who's okay? Okay. Linda is asking what is VESC stands for. Is VESC? It's Women Entrepreneurs of Saskatchewan, Linda. Okay. So moving on, we will cover today happiness set point, happiness continuum, and the energy of contraction and expansion. We will cover the inner home for happiness. That's the module. That's the model that my training is based on. And this is very important. I would like to leave you with your success plan, because without plan, we cannot succeed. Okay, moving on. So I would like you to think, why did you decide to come to this workshop? And if you want to share, you can share in the chat. However, just make a note, what made you to come to this workshop? And also keep that message, right? So because you would need it, like why you're spending 1 hour learning happiness, and put what is your happiness intention. Okay, so any brave soul want to share? Okay, somebody in the chat. Okay, curious about the science. Thank you so much, Jean. Yes, it is a science. And curiosity, that's the most important power I think we have. When we are curious, we get open, we are open to receive. So happy for no reason. It's an inner state of peace and well-being that doesn't depend on circumstances. Because circumstances we have very varies. Like some of us have really incredible circumstances, some of are not. And this inner peace is kind of, that's the thing that we would like to get. And how to get it's a science. Moving on. So you probably wonder, like, why some people are so happy, why some people are not happy. It's because it's genetic, and it's learned tendency to remain at a certain level of happiness. Because frankly speaking, our environment, how we grew up, where we grew up, who were our parents, who were our teachers, it really impact on our self-esteem, our habits. So that's why it's genetic. And the good news is that it can be adjusted, it can be raised. And you will see in the next slide that, as I said, it's 50% genetic, which we cannot really control. It's there. But 10% of our happiness based on our circumstances. And the 40% is habits. So good news is that 50% is, you cannot change, but 50% is under your control. Next thing is the happiness continuum. So if I don't know about you, but I'm learning that everything is spectrum, color is spectrum, gender is spectrum, moods are spectrum. So happiness continuum is also spectrum. From the left side, you see, we can sometimes find ourselves very unhappy, with low spirit, depressed, or we can be happy for a bad reason when we use unhealthy substances or certain addictions. And there is a reason sometimes to be happy. For example, I am very happy to be here presenting. I have a reason. But what we want is to get to the level of inner state of peace and well-being. Regardless of your circumstances, you can choose to be happy. And that's the science of happy for no reason. So please remember this continuum. When you find yourself a little bit low, you can say, where I'm in the continuum, what is the reason making me unhappy? Can I interact with that and control my personal inner peace? It's not easy, but we can get there. And this is very important to recognize that there's two major energies in life, contraction and expansion. Either you're contracting or expanding. And so if you're aware how you're feeling and what kind of energies you're having, then you can keep yourself more expanding. So if you're feeling unhappy, fear, quite pessimistic, constricted, resisting, having low energy, disease, malice, I don't know how to pronounce this correctly, malice, separated and feeling bad, then you're contracting. On the other hand, if you're feeling happy, loving, optimistic, in the flow, accepting what it is, feeling vitality within, ease, well-being, connected, and feeling good, that's you expanding. And honestly speaking, from my observation, the feeling good is so important. We need to keep ourselves feeling good, not necessarily like hyper, but how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling not good. So make sure that you know this and then keep yourself in the expansion. Not always possible, but at least you keep yourself inner expanded. So moving on, I would like to share this little story about this attitude. Your attitude is the power. Your attitude is everything. So pick a good one. And it's, I believe, by Wayne Dyer. I have a small story to share. I was in Toastmasters and I was quite lost, and this wonderful mentor of mine, Brenda Robertson, she shared this speech by Wayne Dyer. And after that day, I put that note that attitude is everything, pick a good one in my office. And since then, I believe my life turned around. I know my attitude is so powerful. Attitude is mine. So I pick how I feel, how I want to respond to certain things. And the other thing is everything is figured out. And it's by Mary Forleo. And she wrote a book. And if you're interested, check it out. She's incredible. She's a young entrepreneur, and she's really showing that when we do business, and if business is purposeful, we can get somewhere. And you know that no act of kindness, no matter how small it is, it never wasted, and it's by Aesop. Because the pessimists really don't know that. They know only 0.0000001% of universal wisdom, possibilities, and potential. Therefore, I personally do not waste my time with pessimists because it's your precious time. So I recommend too, like if you're finding yourself among pessimists, you just kind of, don't waste your energy there. I quickly want to check chat. Yeah, awesome. I will follow up with everyone, okay? Thank you so much for sharing. I'm quite excited to read your notes, but because we have only 1 hour, I have to move on. So, home of happiness. This is the major module, and it's very visual, and I would like you to kind of remember this. So this is the home, and everyone understand the house concept. So foundation of this house is the responsibility. Same for your happiness. In order to be happy, you have to take 100% responsibility for yourself. That's the foundation. And there is first pillar is the mind, second pillar is heart, third pillar is body, fourth pillar is soul, and the roof is purpose, and the garden is relationship. So there is 7 part of home of happiness. And because we have only 1 hour today or less, I will cover today the foundation through responsibility we take, the pillar of mind through focus and attention, and the garden through relationships. Okay, so we'll try to cover 3, and I hope we have time. And the rest 4, we need to do it another time, okay? So, number 1 happiness key is the foundation. So as the house cannot stand without good foundation. So same thing for your happiness. You have to take responsibility for your happiness. And number 1 happiness question is, are you a victim or are you a victor? In every situation, we can really frame like, yeah, this is not such a great situation, but I'm learning. As I think it was Nelson Mandela said, either I learn or win, right? Like either I win or learn, never lose. Because when we find ourselves in victimhood, the victimhood is the fast track to unhappiness. Because either we are blaming ourselves or others, or we are shaming ourselves or others, or we are complaining about somebody or ourselves. So, in order to take full responsibility for your happiness, you have to stop blaming, shaming, complaining others or yourself. So, I would like to take this time, give you maybe 2 minutes. Please write down for yourself. And maybe if you want to share, you can share as well. Something that I complain about is, something I blame is, a way I shame myself is. And of course, if you don't want to share, that's totally understandable, but you can write down for yourself. Because it could be yourself, right? If you're blaming yourself, you're shaming yourself. But if that's the case, there is work to do. And most importantly, think, if I were to take a little more responsibility for my happiness, what would you do? And hope you can write this down, piece of paper. And this is the piece you're kind of committing right now. How are you going to take responsibility for your own happiness? I'll check the chat. It's okay, there is no chat sharing, which is fine. But this is quite personal. And sometimes we complain about things that we have no control. And that's kind of a goal here. Like if something that I complain is I have no control, then I'm literally wasting my time and my own power. Because that's how victimhood creates fast track to unhappiness. Okay? So, and after this, I would like to share this incredible game that you can play. If you have a family members or a group of people that you work with, or maybe you play with some group sometimes, you can play this game. Take a ball, and every time one of you blame, shame, or complain about anything, could be government, could be taxes, could be whatever, put a dime or a quarter and give yourself a time. Could be 5 days, could be a week. In a workplace, probably 5 days. But just give yourself time and collect how much money you can collect. So I played this with my family, and I believe we got some pizza. And I can say that I literally find myself unhappy and like, whom am I blaming? Oh, I'm blaming this, and I stop. And that's the mental game you have to learn, that I have to stop giving away my own power. So try this game. Just make sure that you participate. You ask other people to participate. And sometimes if other people don't participate, just keep yourself accountable. Am I blaming? Am I shaming? Am I complaining? That's how I'm getting unhappy, right? So that's the first part, the responsibility. This is how you keep yourself responsible. And Maya Angelou says, if you don't like something, change it. If you cannot change it, change your attitude. Don't complain. Okay, so this is happiness key number 2. Remember, we were going to look at the pillar of the mind. So pillar of the mind. Don't believe everything you think, because our thoughts are very powerful, and we have 60,000 thoughts per day. 60,000 thoughts per day. And guess what? 95% of those thoughts are from yesterday or day before. It's the same thoughts. And unfortunately, 80% of those thoughts are happiness-robbing thoughts. And because we somehow negatively bias, that's how we end up kind of negative, because negativity somehow is the Velcro versus positivity is Teflon. And most importantly, it's that attention, like we are so like to pay attention to negativity, and negativity grows. Because according to happiness science, what we put our attention on grows stronger in our life. So I want to play a little game. So if you keep your hands together like this, right? They're all equal, right? They're all equal. So pick either left hand or right hand. So if you pick your right hand, hold like this and say to your hand 7 times, grow, 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 grow. And then put it back. So my right hand is higher, taller than my left hand. I hope that worked for you too. And it didn't work, it's okay. Maybe sometimes, you're distracted, but try it on your own. And it's just to show that when we pay attention, that grows. And most importantly, I observe all of us kind of pay attention to negativity, but that's how negativity grows. So if we discipline ourselves and find ourselves more positive, or at least try to build this neural pathway of happiness, because that's the thing, like that's habit. We have to build a pathway to happiness. And how we do it? We look for good. For example, let's experiment. Think of something that is not working in your life, something that you find is a problematic, and give a number from 2 to 10. And if you want, you can share in your chat what's your number. Because we are negatively prepared, we see only negativity. But in every situation, say like if you give number 5, instead of saying why it's only 5, you can say, wow, it's 5, right? It's 5. Say like your bicycle is broke down, and instead of complaining about it, say, I walked. And guess what? When you're walking to school or to university or to work, you meet a friend, you had wonderful time, so that's how you look for good. And unfortunately, because we negatively prepared, we need to savor the good at least 20 seconds. Say your partner came and hugged you. Save that 20 seconds. Wow, I have wonderful, wonderful people around me. You get a paycheck. Yeah, savor it. Be grateful for that paycheck. So this kind of creates pathways to happiness. And always go 3 to 1. If you said something, say you said life sucks. You said negative, follow up with 3 positive points. No, life is wonderful. Life is rewarding. Life is gorgeous. Life is beautiful. So when you kind of counteract the negative points, the positivity will start building, and you will see you will start changing yourself. And the last piece is the garden. The seventh key is the garden. Remember, we chose the responsibility, and the pillar of the mind, and the garden is the relationships. So this garden is to surround yourself with support. Surround yourself with support, because that's the number one human need. We cannot survive without each other. So we need that support. Because close work friendship boost employee satisfaction by 50%. And so if you have small company or big company, or maybe just on your own, you make sure that you have that friendship with somebody. And the VESC is the best place to start, because it's an incredible organization, very supportive. So you can start building relationship there. Because people who feel connected with coworkers are 7 times more likely to engage fully in there. So if you don't have coworkers, you can create connection with other groups. Make sure that you have that connection to feel good. Because we become average of 5 people we surround ourselves with. And sometimes our family could be not positive, right? So then you seek out connections which supports and celebrate you. And question number 1 in surrounding your support is this: the emotional contagion and mirror neurons. So emotions are somewhat invisible, right? And so have you noticed sometimes you're having fun and somebody comes and says something negative and everybody down? Versus sometimes you're so negative and somebody says, "Happy Wednesday." It's already this contagious energy. So make sure that you surround yourself with positive people, because we all have mirror neurons. There's so many experiments. If you find somebody looking at the sky, you automatically also look up at the sky, because that's how we repeat ourselves. There's so much statistic, like if leader start wearing ties, people start wearing ties. If somebody always smiling, people start following, because we have those mirror neurons, and those mirror neurons connecting us, but they are not visible, right? So make sure that your support group is positive, and you create that supportive environment for yourself. Because really, there's so many opportunities to be negative, but we need to create support for ourselves, because that emotional immunity is very important. And most importantly, in order to be kind of creating for yourself support, the boundary that you create for yourself is very important. And for us, especially for business women, it's so important to create that healthy boundary, right? We can non-stop work, but very important to find time for yourself, find boundaries, and keep those boundaries, and respect your own boundaries. And the last thing is find a support group. For example, luckily for me, because I'm this Marcy Shimoff, I participated in her Year of Miracles. I have Miracle Group sisters. We meet every 2 weeks. And that's my commitment. We get together for half an hour, 45 minutes, and we live around the world. 2 of them live in England, 1 in Germany, 1 in the United States. And we meet every 2 weeks, and we celebrate our wins, celebrate our intentions, and we keep each other kind of accountable. So you can create either miracle groups, and I'm willing to start in Saskatoon. It's wonderful to have like physical location, because you can meet in person as well, because nothing is better than in person, right? Or you can create other accountability groups. I know there is so many opportunities to have like-minded people, because if we are doing business, sometimes it gets so difficult. And then that a little bit of support, emotional support is very important to keep us going. I see somebody has a question. I'll just quickly check. Sorry, I will. This is my mentor, Marcy, in the middle. So she was sharing that she has 4 other women in her life. They support each other, they know each other, and they just make sure that they celebrate their wins. So I see chat. Good. Question. Yeah, definitely. I'm seeing some questions and I will follow up, okay? Thank you so much for your questions. I promise I will follow up. So next slide is circle of support. So this, I will share probably later on the full page of circle of how to create circle of support. But also this is kind of you can do on your own, recognize, sit down once a week or once a month, depending on your schedule, because we can be very busy. Just put yourself and ask yourself, what kind of support I have in my life? For example, your garden could be your support. Your family could be support. Sometimes family might not be your support, and that's okay. But you have to find what kind of support I can find. As I mentioned, the VESC is a wonderful place to come. There's so many seminars happening. But also, what kind of support I have? Do I have friends? Do I have family? Do I have business partner? Do I have counselor to get support? So you have to get yourself like, okay, do I have routines that support my well-being? What do I do for myself? So this is kind of a once a week, check yourself. Do I have support system for myself? Because frankly speaking, if you're not feeling good, then you cannot take care of your loved ones. So that's why you have to take that boundaries. You know, like I am taking care of myself, because if I am feeling good, everyone feels good, especially for women. And I know for men as well, because, you know, like sometimes we take so much on ourselves, regardless of our gender or spectrum, wherever we are. So I just want to quickly check chat. Yeah, exactly. Being in nature, exactly. I love our Mevasan Trail, our river. I'm so blessed that I live so close to the river, and I go there quite often, and my energy just kind of, you know, bubbles up, and I'm a happy person. Okay, so please do that support exercise. Ideally weekly, right? Like just sit down, what I'm doing for myself, what I'm doing that inspires me. So that's very important. And I will share the exercise later on the page. Tend and befriend. Like one of the things that I do, like sometimes I find myself low, I just forget about myself and start helping others. And when you start helping others, you recognize, holy, why were you complaining about? Like you have so many things to be blessed, to be grateful. And so sometimes befriending other person, helping other person makes you empowered. And so sometimes support yourself, supporting through others, it's kind of works as well. And be kind to yourself, be gentle to yourself. Because if you're not gentle to yourself, if you criticize yourself, then, you know, you're creating that kind of energy of criticism, and then you invite that energy of criticism to yourself. So this is kind of from Gandhi. I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. Because there's so many negative people, sometimes we find ourselves that they find problem for every solution. Have you met those kind of people? You say, wow, this is wonderful. They say, no, this is bad. If you say, have you heard this? Oh, this is bad. So it's kind of their state of negativity, and somehow I see they want to bring you down. So that's why you have to keep yourself in a positive environment. And I am happy to show you this last trick. It's a closing section, and I hope you would love this, because being in business, being in kind of cutting edge, you always have to go ahead. You have to be ahead of yourself. And that is the imagination. You have to imagine yourself somewhere beyond, right? Like right now I'm sitting here, but your imagination has to be where I will be in 5 years, where I will be in 10 years. And so this imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. And I would like to this visualization game with you. So this is Greg Louganis. He is the famous diver, famous American diver, and he won few Olympic medals, gold medals. And he's also famous for his incredible performance after an accident. He had an accident where he hit the board with his head, and everybody thought that he's done. And so the reporters were running around him saying, "Hey, are you going to watch how you failed?" And he said, "Are you crazy? Why would I do that?" So he came to his hotel room and watched all his excellent performance, all of them, and visualized himself performing wonderfully next day. And he did. He won the medal. And I'm sharing this because visualization is an incredible tool. The Olympic champions always do it. So business people can do the same thing. And it's not only business, but you can visualize. So what we are going to do now, I will stand up. Everyone stands up. And you will be looking at me, sharing, looking at me like this, pointing fingers, okay? So holding your feet, not moving, you just go around and point somewhere, turning around and point at something, okay? And come back. Come back. And now close your eyes and imagine yourself that you reach further than that point. Okay? Open your eyes and look at me again, pointing at me, point your fingers, and go to the same direction. And this time you will go further than you pointed before. Because that's the power of visualization. Can you share in the chat whether that worked for you? Because it worked for me. I was kind of 10 centimeters beyond of my original point. So that's the power of visualization, especially in the business. We really want to get to certain levels, right? Like I have my profit plan. Maybe you want to increase number of employees for next time. So that's the power of visualization. Please use this. It worked for me. Yes, Michelle, thank you so much. So please use these tools. And this last piece I want to share with you is that you have to commit yourself. What are you going to remember? Write down, what are you going to remember of these 3 tips that we shared? One was the responsibility, blame, shame, and complain game. Second was the pillar, right? Recognizing what you focus that grows. And third was the support group and the visualization game. So write down, what are you going to remember? And the last piece is the commitment. For the next 30 days, what are you committing yourself? How are you going to commit for your own happiness? And somebody's writing in the chat. Yeah, Diane says, thank you so much. Thank you. You're welcome, Diane. So write this down and keep this available to you. You know, life happens, you forget things, but please keep yourself accountable for your own commitment. And if anyone wants to share, you're welcome to share. Okay, sorry, my screen. So don't lose that piece of paper. and keep your commitment, because commitment is so powerful. So if you want to connect with me, you can text me your email to my phone. I can follow up with you, and also check my website for resources. And also you can connect with me through my website as well. You can write contact and then I can answer. So I will give you a few seconds here before I close the session.
Kira, there's a question in the Q&A. It says, could you please give me more details about create and keep your boundaries by Weston?
Yeah. Okay, I will answer after I share this last bit. Thank you so much, Weston, for this question. So this is from Chinese proverb, and I'm so inspired to share this with you as well, because this is the piece that why I decided to join Marcy's campaign to create happiness for everyone in the world, is that when there is a light in our soul, there is a beauty in the person. When there is a beauty in the person, there will be harmony in the house. When there is harmony in the house, there will be order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. And I believe that we will achieve that peace. And that starts from us, right? So that is my closing. And I'm grateful for the question, Weston, but how can we create boundaries? So boundaries, depending on the boundaries for yourself, like, I guess it starts from your sleeping pattern or what do you want to achieve. If you want to have some time for yourself, you can say to your family or to your loved ones or to your colleagues, hey, I need this, and just openly state, right? And sometimes people don't know how to respond to that. So you can be kind of self-protective of your own boundaries. And kind of knowing yourself also helps. Like, I know that all of us are so different. Some people can work in a noisy place. Some people can sit and be happy even if it's loud. I cannot. So knowing yourself is very important. So what I suggest, Weston, is to kind of know what kind of boundaries you want to create. For example, one of my boundaries is for location. I get some offers from job, right? Like, can you work in North End or South End? I'm like, no, I want to be around where I can only cycle because I live on the bicycle. So that's my boundaries. Or for example, if you are working, put yourself boundary like from 8 to 4:30 I work. After 4:30 I take some break because I need rest. And then only after certain hours of rest, I start working again. So those kind of little boundaries, and those boundaries kind of depend on your own preference. Well, I hope I answered your question, Weston. There's more question. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Linda. You're welcome, Linda. So, yeah. Any other questions? And as I said, I will welcome your numbers, emails, and I will follow up with anything, because there is, on top of these 3 happiness points, there is 4 more, right? There is soul, there is heart, there is body, and purpose. So I'm happy to follow up on those if you're interested. Yeah, thank you, Cooper, for your nice words. So Tanya, I think you can take from here.
Thank you so much, Hero, for this informative presentation on happiness. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who joined us today. I think we all went on a happiness journey together. So just a reminder, because I see someone asked, this webinar will be available for on-demand viewing. So it will be on our website by the end of today. So you can always go back and view this webinar, see all the slides and what happened today. So thank you again. Our next webinar will be on August 23rd, and the topic will be on reverse engineer your marketing for small business success. So if you're yet to register for that, please hop over to our website and get registered at wesc.ca/events. Until then, thank you again, Kara, so much. And thank you everyone for using your lunchtime to join us. Have a good day and take care. Thank you. Bye.